Okay, we're going to have a little skill of the week on brush care. Now, brush care might not seem like a big deal, but if you take care of your brushes, they will last for years and years and years. I have brushes at home that I have had for 20 years, and because I have taken good care of them, they are still very usable to this day. Now, some of the brushes here in this room have not lasted 5 years before I've had to replace them because people don't clean them properly. Now, I'm going to show you how to clean them properly so that we can always have good brushes for many, many years to come. So I'm going to move the camera down so you can see the supplies. Okay, this brush I have been painting with oil paint. So this is basically an oil paint tutorial. If you take out the oil painting properties, you would clean the brush the same way with acrylic paint minus the solvent. Okay, so the first thing that you would do, and what I did was when I was done painting, is I wiped the brush off on the side of the paint can until as much paint as I could get out of it was gone. Then I'm going to use a paper towel and wipe as much of the paint out as I can that way. Okay, and then I'm going to use that same paper towel, dip it into my solvent, which is basically mineral spirits, and I'm going to wipe again as much of the paint out as possible. And I'm just starting at the ferrule, which is the metal piece, starting right there at where the bristles meet the ferrule, and I'm pulling the paint to the end of the brush. And of course I've got my gloves on because you don't want to use mineral spirits with your bare hands, because if you've got a cut in your fingers or anything like that, it will go right to your kidneys. It can damage your kidneys because it goes right through the skin. So always protect yourself. Now, after I've wiped as much off as I possibly can, you can see that I've gotten quite a bit off into the mineral spirits, and you can see that the brush is almost clean just from doing that. So I'm going to put my brush over, or my paper towel over to the side, and I'm going to actually swish the brush in the mineral spirits using the grate at the bottom to kind of help get that paint out and disintegrate all of the oil paint that's in there. And you can see that it's getting quite clean. Then I'm going to wipe that off, use a clean piece of the paper towel to wipe that off as much as possible. You don't want to go right to washing with soap and water until you get as much of that oil out as possible. So you can see just from wiping it, I really don't have much in there anymore. So it shouldn't take too much to clean, but you'll be surprised at how much you can get out of there. So I have water here just so you can see. Normally I would be running it under cold water with some soap. But I'm going to wet it down first, and then I'm going to just run it right over the soap, kind of swirling it around, get a little more water on there because I'd normally be running it under water. And then I'm going to just use my fingers as a washboard and swish it back and forth between my fingers. And you can see as I push the paint out of the ferrule and towards the end of the bristles, if any paint remains on my fingers after rinsing, I would do it all over again. Now, I did a really good job of cleaning out the brush with the paper towel and the mineral spirits, so I really don't need to do it again, but this is what I would normally do, is clean it at least twice. There are some colors in oil paint that take a really long time to clean out, like blue and red, so this process works really well for blue and red especially, because you can really get them nice and clean. So there's no color on my fingers, so I can rinse the brush out, and then I would just take a clean paper towel and wipe it dry.